Today we're going to post-process this Deadpool mask. This will require no electric sander and no spray paint. Everything you'll need is down below in the description, including the file and filament. Now that you have all your parts printed, the first thing we have to do with post-processing is remove all these supports. This is what a support structure looks like on a 3D printed part. This is organic, or also referred to as tree supports. To me, this kind of looks like a coral reef in the ocean, and I just wanted to show this off, guys. Now that your mask is all done, you're probably left with something that has a lot of burrs and everything on it after that support removal. So what I go ahead and do is I actually take my trimming tools and I just cut away at this stuff until it's smooth, and I cut all these burrs down, and then once we're done with that, we'll go to sandpaper. So why don't you guys now go take the time to grab your clippers and start clipping away all these things, and then once you're done, just pause the video, and when you're done, come back and we'll be on to sanding. So now, if your pieces look like this and you think they are ready to sand, go grab some sandpaper and we'll start sanding. Personally, I use an 80 grit sandpaper, and this is because those burrs are really hard to get off unless you have a really low grit. And with this, I go around the edges to make sure they're not sharp. And then while I'm sanding, you can see if you print in any color besides white that there is a color change. As you've seen, it went from dark blue to a light blue. And at that stage, I know I am done sanding. So now we're on painting process. So I have my piece all sanded, and now it should be ready for some paint. I'm gonna go sand all the other parts and get that ready for you guys. For this step, you're gonna want Posca markers or alcohol markers. I find that Posca markers work great on PLA, and then some paper towels, preferably a towel. I don't have any currently, but what you're gonna wanna do, first we're gonna do a base coat of this dark blue, which is actually matched to this, and it's unused, so let me get that going. So you're gonna wanna dab your marker all over this, right? You're gonna want to keep dabbing it, dabbing it, dabbing it, and then you're gonna take it. You're gonna take that end. Let's do a piece like this, and you're just gonna wipe. And as you can see, it just goes right over there, and it kind of makes it look like the sanding's gone away, which is the point of this. And you're gonna want to repeat this step until you have the entire mask done. But you can lay it on thick or lightly. It's all preferences on that, but this is how you do it. And I'll get back to you guys when my whole layer is done. Okay, so I got them all layered up with the marker, and now what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna start layering this. So our darkest regular coat that matches the actual PLA that you want, when that's finished, now we move on to a darker color. I do this first. I like getting the base coat down similar color first, and that's so I don't have to like try to cover up the black with blue, because that doesn't work well. But this can go on top of this color very well. So what we're gonna wanna do is the same thing. And Deadpool has a lot of darker stuff around his mask right here, and especially in the front around the eyes. So that's where I'm gonna apply this black paint, is on these creases in these areas up front. I'm not gonna really do it around the edges or the back covers. Take this, like folding it like this where there's a nub, and then I color on it like this. once you get this real nice and wet, now we just dab it on there. And it should look like this. What we're trying to do is layer it to make it look movie accurate. Once that goes out, we'll keep doing this. So now all my parts are painted to the color I think fits best with this prop. And I just actually used the dark blue and the black. I didn't use any lightener. And that's because I like the way it's looking. So the next step is you need magnets. And what we're gonna do is we're going to glue them in all these holes. It is 8x2 magnets, and even the eyes need them. However, for the eyes, we're going to super glue or hot glue these in like so. So I just got all the magnets installed, so here's the first one. Now I didn't put magnets on everything, and there is a gap on these. The mask said 8x2. I would go a little bit smaller because you get some gaps, but that's okay. Got this side. Oop. Everything up. This is my Deadpool helmet build.